Welcome, listeners, to a brand new episode of the Nerd Corner's Spotlight. And today I am joined by a special guest. Please welcome Alexis Noriega, aka the Crooked Feather.
Hi, everybody.
Hi there, Alexis. Can you tell, for people who don't know who you are, can you tell the listeners who you are and exactly what you do?
Who I am is Alexis Noriega, and what I do is I make costume props and accessories for a living. And my mainstay is animatronic wings. I make bat wings, bird wings, bug fairy wings, pretty much whatever somebody wants. And that's not the only thing we do, but it's the main thing we do. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Now, how long have you made the wings, and how did you get started into making wings?
Oh, I've been making wings a long time at this point, I think about 5 years. And I got started just looking at tutorials online for fun. As a cosplayer, that's just kind of something you do, is look around at other people's projects, and saw somebody had made a set of wings that I thought looked really cool, and they put a tutorial up, so I decided to try and replicate it just for fun, just to see if I could do it. I didn't have a particular costume in mind, but I went ahead and just made it the way they made it and decided I didn't like it and that I could improve it. So I did, and it's basically how engineering works most of the time, is you try something out, and when you figure out what all of the weak points and problems are, and then you move on and try and fix those problems and weaknesses. So that's what I've been doing ever since.
Fantastic. Now, what is your most complicated wings you've had to construct so far?
I think all of them are about the same, just in different ways. But the bird wings are probably the most time consuming and have the most little pieces to figure out and learn. I'm even still learning new things, and trying new things with them. You have to make the fake feathers and work with real feathers, and you have to be able to sew, and you have to be able to do metalworking, you have to be able to do electronics. So it's kind of a deep rabbit hole that you get into with the animatronic bird wings. So, but it's a lot of fun. So there's that.
Nice. Now, have you ever had a situation where you just looked around your workroom and there's feathers everywhere?
That's my life. I don't know how other people's workrooms look, but I'm pretty much in constant con chaos. And it's better now that I have an independent workshop away from my home. It's not just my garage, but definitely is still a struggle to try and keep everything neat and tidy.
Yeah, it's hard for a lot of cosplayers, especially professional seamstresses. They have materials all over the place, rolls of material everywhere. So being someone who makes wings, I can just see feathers everywhere. Somebody walks into your workshop going, was there a giant pillow fight going on here?
Yeah, no, we try our best to keep it down. We try and clean up every day, but inevitably there's just feather fluff everywhere. And it manages to scare the crap out of me on a regular basis too, because it just, it looks like something is crawling across the floor with 10 legs, and it's just a piece of feather fuzz rolling across. So.
Oh yeah.
That happens quite often.
It's not a scorpion, it's a feather.
Yeah. And they like to stick to the walls and stuff too, so.
Oh yeah. What, the feathers or the scorpions?
Well, a little bit of both.
A little bit of both. That's what you get when you live in Arizona.
Pretty much.
Now, I met you, what was it, 4 or 5 years ago, I think it was?
probably.
I think it was Tayucon. I think I first met you at.
No, probably Sabo. I don't think
Sabo?
I've been to Kaya.
I swore. Okay, it was at like the Mesa Convention Center.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
So that was one of the very few that I remember, or maybe Amazing. Maybe it was Amazing.
I think it was Amazing.
Yeah, when Amazing was at Mesa. But yeah, I remember, and I looked at your wings, and they were incredible.
Those are the little static guys too. They didn't even move.
Oh yeah, and this is before you did any of the mechanical wings, I believe.
Yeah.
Which were impressive. I think one of the first wings I saw you, or at least you do at a con, for me, was the Hawk Girl wings that expand.
Yep. Yep, that's one of the few costumes I have with expanding wings still. I'm trying to get more under my belt, but yeah, she's my go-to.
Now you probably get asked this a lot, but can you fly with the wings?
No, don't try and fly with them. No, they're cosmetic only. There's way too much. Would be way too much strain on the spine and the wings themselves to actually fly. So they will knock you over in the wind, though. So does that count?
Kind of. I mean, that means that they work somewhat.
Yeah.
But would that be your ultimate goal, is to actually make wings that you could actually fly with?
I have no illusions about the possibility of that, so no, I don't. I'm not gonna design ones that will actually fly. I can fly in an airplane, I can skydive. That's good enough for me. They do have various kind of jet wing things that you can fly with that they've made in Dubai, and those are fixed wing jet propulsion wings, and that's kind of more along the lines of what you would get if you actually wanted to fly, just because the more moving parts you have, the more points of failure you have, and so the wings that fold in and out really are just a lot of failure points. Is it possible? Sure. Am I going to be the one to do it? No. I'll leave it to the aerospace engineers.
But wouldn't it just be awesome to get those fashionable wings and like skydive and then just glide to the ground with those wings out?
It would be cool.
That'd be pretty epic. Now
I won't be the one to do it.
Oh, maybe. You can never say never. So who exactly purchases your wings?
Mostly cosplayers. I do get I get beauty queens, and I get a lot of drag queens and that kind of thing that order them as well. But for the most part, I would say that 90% of the people that order them from me are cosplayers that have a particular character in mind that they're trying to portray. So.
Nice. Now, has like companies like Victoria's Secret ever contacted you? Like, we need you to design wings.
No. And I don't really expect them to. They have a tendency to, they have a couple of different companies that they work with to create their wings, and they kind of stick to their guns a little bit in that regard, and I don't blame them. They expect a certain quality, and better to go with the people that you know will generate that quality than take a chance on new people, I think, is their thinking. And that makes, perfect sense to me, and there's no reason that if they wanted moving wings, like, they can make them. They do know how. My tutorials are up. There's not really a reason to hire me, I don't think. And I'm not bitter about it, like, whatever.
Well, I think, in my opinion, you're one of the best in the business currently, especially in the cosplay business for making wings.
Oh, for cosplay, for sure. I know there's a lot of professional wing makers that do the static wings that are also very good. And it's a really small community, though, so we all know each other, and it's pretty funny because we end up, anytime we see each other's work, congratulating each other for the random other things that we're doing. But we're all really encouraging, and it's nice because everybody, so long as we're not actively stealing each other's ideas, we're like, yeah, cool, you did it. Good job, buddy.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool because it's, there are so many industries out there that are very competitive. And,
yeah. I think there's just not enough of us.
Not enough wing makers.
Yeah. It's like, oh, good. Somebody else to take some of this workload off of me.
Now, we were talking earlier before we started this podcast about you working, I think you said you worked alone for a little while making the wings. Is that correct?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For a long time, actually.
And now you don't.
One video goes viral and I get a spurt. I would get, like a boost of interest for a little while, and then it would, for the most part, peter out. But it's gotten to the point where things are a pretty steady stream of me not being able to handle it. So I have now a couple of interns who help me, now subcontractors, I guess I should call them. Still like to torture them though, so. But they help me make the wings. They do various parts of the process. And I'm trying to teach them the whole process, but again, there's a whole lot of little things that you need to learn, and we haven't quite gotten to any one person learning everything. So, but we'll get there. And I have 5 interns that pretty much only work with me, and then that's their job. And then I'm looking to expand in Tucson and hire a few more people out there, because we can maintain about. I had to shut down my website because we were getting 3 orders a week.
Oh,
and
wow.
I'm not that fast. So even with all the help.
Now, how long does it take to usually make a pair of wings? And I know there are different types of wings you make, but like on average, how long would it take?
It could take anywhere. Well, it depends on, again, the type, but like it could take. Some of the fairy wings only take, 8 hours, 9 hours. But the mechanical wings can be as much as 120 hours, depending on how custom the paint job is and everything. So, yeah, long time.
And all the electronics probably that connect to it.
Yeah, well, that part actually is pretty fast. The electronics are not difficult. It's just, I think there's this learning curve. A lot of people are afraid to start with electronics. They're afraid they're going to get electrocuted or something. And after having been shocked a couple of times, I'm not really afraid of it anymore. So you get used to it, and and it really is not as difficult as a lot of people think it is. It's not some, crazy mysterious process of how the electrons work. It's actually pretty easy once you, get your head into it a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Was there a lot of learning curve, learning how to solder?
That's easy. So a friend of mine, I have a number of friends in Tucson. When I was working on my very, very first set, which were awful, but you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
When I was first trying to make this, I went to my local hackerspace and was basically working on the parts I knew how to work with. So I was using the tools and cutting up the PVC and shaping the PVC and so on and so forth. And then anytime I got to a part of the process that I didn't know how to do, it was pretty easy to just stand up and be like, does anybody know how to do this? Or what would be a way that I could, create this function? And luckily, there's just a large number of really talented people that know lots of different random things. And so I started out not knowing how to solder, and they said, oh, well, you can do this. All you need to do is solder these two pieces together or do this. And I was like, cool, show me how to do it. And you just learn piece by piece everything you need to get the job done.
That's fantastic. Yeah, it's cool that when you have people in the community that are able to actually help you with things that you may not know, and they sometimes set up like little workshops and everything to teach you, just some basic stuff. But when you put it all together, you can make some pretty cool stuff, including like the 3D printing and everything. A lot of people are kind of freaked out about that at the beginning, and then it's like, oh, wait a minute, it's pretty easy when it get down to it.
Yeah, I mean, it takes some practice and you got to learn some stuff, but that's normal. Like, nobody comes out of the womb knowing how to, do any of this. We all have to kind of learn. So, I think that's the reaction I get most is like, oh my gosh, how on earth do you know how to do all this? It's like everybody else, I just figure it out and learn it. Go on the internet. Go into a hackerspace. Go to school.
Nice. Now, I know that there are at least 2 or 3 viral videos that have gone out about you, and I have interviewed you before. What are like the most interesting comments you've read from those videos, like from below that you've seen? People respond to those videos.
First rule of the internet: don't read the comments.
Don't read the comments.
I don't pay attention too much to the comments. I think the funniest one that was pointed out to me was somebody clearly thought I was in middle school, and was like, look at this. This is what kids need to be doing these days. Like projects and stuff instead of just playing their video games and blah, 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 blah. And I wasn't the one who responded. Luckily, one of my fans found it and pointed it out to me, but she's like, you do realize that's a fully grown woman, right? She's just short. I was like, yeah. I'm not 13, I'm 30, but thanks.
Yeah. Don't worry. I have a lot of friends who are really short.
Anymore.
I have a lot of friends that are short, and they still get carded.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm an adult, I swear.
Yeah.
There were a lot of the comments I read. There were a lot of compliments on your wings, and a lot of people were very impressed with the designs and everything. They are very professionally made, and like I said earlier, about Victoria's Secret ever contacting you, it's like that's the quality that I see in your wings. And they last a while too. I have a lot of friends who have your wings, and they last a while. So that's also another.
I try and make them as durable as I can. I mean, they are made with feathers. There's only so much you can do sometimes, but I do try and make it so that maintenance and whatnot isn't too terribly difficult.
Oh yeah, especially when you're taking them to multiple conventions. All year round. You want a durable set of wings. You don't want wings that you can wear once and then all of a sudden you realize, oh, they fell apart on me.
Yeah.
So I can see that quality in all the designs of your wings, and it's very impressive.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so we're nearing the end of our interview because I know you have lots of work to do, and you're a busy woman.
Most days, yes.
Most days. So, do you have anything you would like to plug or pimp out? Websites, Etsy pages, anything else like that?
I mean, pretty much all over the internet. I can be found under The Crooked Feather. So my Instagram, my Facebook, thecrookedfeather.com is my website, is probably the best place to find and contact me. My Patreon, if you want to make your own wings. I keep no secrets. So if you want to go on Patreon and help me out a little bit, and I'll help you out a little bit, and everybody can make wings together. That's probably the biggest help that you can give me, is just by helping support what I do. So yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I saw your Patreon a while back, and I thought that was pretty impressive that you would be giving out a lot of handy tips, because, I mean, this is your business. And
yeah, well, and the thing is there's a barrier to entry. Like, they're very difficult to make. Each piece maybe not that bad, but they take a really long time to make, and they're very, very hard to make really, really well. And so I don't think, and I don't know, I have faith in people. I don't think most are going to, screw me over and just blatantly take my design and run with it. That'd be rude. And while it might happen, I don't think that they're going to be able to compete with my expertise or quality. So, and I keep them very, very cheap. I know they seem like they're a lot of money, but if you're using my method, then that's how much they cost to make, and also have dinner at the end of the day. So it's not. I don't mind. I'm a cosplayer too, and nothing bothers me more than when I just want to make something for myself, and somebody's like, "No, it's a secret how I do this." So I keep no secrets.
Exactly. Now, before I finish the interview, I actually forgot to ask you when you first started cosplaying. That's actually probably an important question to ask at the beginning, but...
I started cosplaying, I think I was 15 or 16, and this was before cons were a big thing. It was definitely still a super niche the nerd thing to do or whatever. A friend of mine invited me to Arizona, I think was the first one I went to. And they said, and people like to dress up as their favorite characters, and it's great. And I thought that was awesome because, I loved making costumes for Halloween. So I dressed up as Battle Angel Alita and went to this convention, and thank God there's no photographic evidence because it was awful. But this was before cosplay was big, all those eons ago. And it's really cool to see how it's evolved over the years and become like this really great, large community. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, especially nerdom in general, how it's evolved, and how they are also making a Battle Angel movie.
Oh my God, I hope they don't screw it up.
The eyes are so big.
I know. Well, and I think, so I was talking about this with somebody else. The eyes bother me just because, like, her face it's just supposed to be young. It's an anime face. But somebody was saying that they didn't want to do, in the manga, her lips are supposed to be like these octopus lips. Like, they look silly. And people always tease her about that. Like, that's her outstanding feature, not her eyes. But I guess they were trying to avoid the sex doll look. And so they were like, maybe not octopus lips. But still, I don't know. We'll see. I'm skeptical, but we'll find out.
I'm waiting for the next trailer.
Yeah. I mean, I'll reserve judgment until I see the whole thing. But yeah, it's to this day one of my favorite series, and I don't want them to mess it up.
Yeah. It's like, I don't want them to mess it up. Death Note comes out. Oh no.
Yeah.
Full Metal Alchemist comes out. Oh no.
Yeah.
Stop making things live action.
Rurouni Kenshin was good. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I haven't. I saw a preview for Bleach, and I'm crossing my fingers on that one.
I don't know. All those, I think the part of the reason Rurouni Kenshin worked so well is that it was originally pretty historical fiction-y. So there wasn't a lot of CG tomfoolery, They could do a lot of practical effects and just period clothing and whatnot. that made it a little easier. So that one was pretty good. But I think the more fantastical the anime, the crappier it's going to be is kind of my assessment.
Yeah. I mean, if they have a good story and they can have good dialogue and good actors to play the parts, then there's no way you can go wrong with these animes. But if the director wants to take, poetic license and go, hey, I want to do this and this and this and change this and this, it's probably not going to work because these animes run on a different type of system than normal Hollywood films.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm crossing my fingers about Bleach because, I saw the Japanese version of Full Metal Alchemist and I was like, you stuffed like a whole season into one movie.
Yeah.
And it was bad.
Yeah. Well, and I think, so based on the trailer, like with Alita, I think that, I think they're just going to do the part where she wakes up and then the first arc, and I won't, I guess, spoil anything, but it doesn't seem like they're going to try and fit the whole series into one movie. It seems like there's the first main arc is going to be the first movie, and we'll see how it goes, because honestly, the next arc is when it starts getting fun, so we'll see.
Oh yeah. And for other people that were complaining about the whitewashing in Ghost in the Shell, I actually liked Ghost in the Shell. And
the movie?
Yeah, the movie with Scarlett Johansson, and a bunch of people were interviewed in Japan and asked about it, and they're like, "Yeah, we love Scarlett Johansson over here. We're really glad she's playing the part."
Yeah. Well, I think my main problem with the whitewashing wasn't so much the actor or the actors being whitewashed so much as the message being whitewashed, because it doesn't read like the original message of Ghost in the Shell. They didn't think resonated with American audiences. So even though she sets aside self for the greater good in the anime, which is a very Japanese thing to do, the opposite. There was a lot more self in the movie, and I think that was kind of my main issue, is to whenever they change stories just to appeal to American audiences, and I feel like sometimes they don't need to do that, but we'll see. I mean, I'm reserving judgment until I see it, so.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right, so before we finish the interview, is there any other places that your fans, or even my fans, can see you at next?
I will be going to Dragon Con, and I'll be at, Capital City Comic Con in Lansing, Michigan. I'll be in Canada at some point. I forget, it's in middle of October, or no, end of October. I'll be in Canada. So all of those will be posted on my website, and I'll be announcing on Facebook though. So if anybody wants to know where I'm going to be, that's where you find out.
Fantastic. Thank you, Alexis, for coming on the show today.
You're welcome.
And for my listeners, please check out her website, her Facebook page, all her other social media contacts. And if you want wings from her, you're probably going to have to wait because because she is swamped and she constantly gets orders on a daily basis, probably.
Yep.
Or that's more of a fact than anything, huh?
Yep.
And she will eventually read all her emails.
Yeah, someday. But that day is not today.
Someday. You'll be like an old woman going, I finally got the last email done. And then all of a sudden 100 more come in. She's like, no!
Oh, as soon as that happens, I'll just die.
It's like, but no, your designs are great, and you have a lot of fans, especially here in Arizona. But not just that, but like all over the U.S., people know of you. So, and probably internationally as well, especially when the videos have gone viral.
Yeah, for sure.
So, definitely awesome wings and awesome job on them. And looking forward to seeing new designs in the future.
Thank you.
All right, well, everybody, thank you for listening to the Nerd Corner's Spotlight with the Crooked Feather. And please subscribe to our page. And remember, everyone, to enjoy your chimichanga.